Mia came to prep in the 3rd grade. Since then, she's been very busy on the varsity track team since the 8th grade. Last year, she set school records in multiple events on our championship team and brought home a state championship of her own in pole vaulting. She's been on the volleyball team both as a junior and now as a senior. She's mentored at the lower school, has been active in Green Club, recycling, Schools for Schools, Art Club, Harry Potter Club, and the National Honor Society. She's also been a bio buddy tutoring biology students. She has served as president of her class for both her junior and senior years, and she enjoys music, singing here in the chorus at prep, and may also be found playing the piano at area nursing homes. During her limited free time, she coaches gymnastics, for which she has trained since early childhood, and she works with the Kitty Connection to foster and find homes for kittens. I'm lucky to have been one of the recipients of a gorgeous gray tabby kitty, thanks to Mia and her mom. So, Mia, without further ado, please come to the podium.
At 2 a.m. on a cool morning in the early summer of 1974, a young man urgently removed the rubber from his car tires. He tied them together and constructed a makeshift rubber raft. Then, he and his wife woke up their 9-year-old daughter and they quietly drove to the edge of the waterfront at the seaside tourist town of Trieste in Yugoslavia. In the cool waters of the Adriatic Sea, they placed their little girl in a 2x2 dinghy and climbed aboard their makeshift rubber raft, paddling into darkness. With just a flicker of light on a distant shore serving as a beacon, they anxiously paddled towards this unknown light, towards freedom. The penalty, if caught, would be the separation of the entire family. The parents forced into separate labor camps and their daughter put up for adoption. They were leaving everything behind: their house, their friends, their relatives, their lives. With just a few belongings in a backpack and with the clothes on their backs, the man paddled his family through the dark, stroke after stroke, trying not to think of the fact that neither his wife nor his daughter could swim. After what seemed like an eternity, they reached the opposite shore. While hiding the raft amongst some bushes, they were noticed by 2 men, Italian police. The men silently motioned in a direction and walked on. The family walked warily through the early dawn, eventually reaching a small town. They went to the local police station and begged for asylum as refugees from the communist government of Hungary. They were given a room at a refugee camp in the small town of Latina, near Rome. They worked hard in this foreign place until one day, 11 months later, they were one of the lucky families allowed to immigrate to a new country, the land of freedom and democracy, the United States. This immigrant, trained as an engineer back in Hungary, was placed with his family in the small town of Scranton, Pennsylvania. But due to his inability to communicate in English, he was assigned to work as a butcher in a slaughterhouse. His wife, previously an accountant, worked in a sweatshop, making shirts by day and cleaning houses by night. Their daughter learned English quickly, excelling at school. She eventually pursued a career in medicine in St. Louis. There, she met a young man. In the 1950s, this man's father had left the security of his home in South India, and with only $50 in his pocket, boarded a ship to Africa in search of a job and more opportunities. He was only 20 years old. Surviving severe seasickness and food poisoning during a long 2-week ship journey, he landed on the shores of Dar es Salaam, the new capital of Tanzania in East Africa. Starting as a secretary, he would eventually rise up in the ranks to become the respected manager of a government agency, and having 4 children along the way. His children were placed in boarding schools in India in an effort to maximize their education. Eventually, one of his sons came to the United States to attend college. Traveling alone, this son left his family behind, seeking the best education and opportunities his parents could provide. Working hard throughout college, he eventually met the woman while studying medicine in St. Louis. Motivated and inspired by their parents' sacrifices and risks, the couple worked together through all adversity, successfully. They eventually got married and became American citizens. They were the successful products of immigrants who had taken much risk. In 2016, the United States accepted about 1.2 million legal immigrants into this country. We have taken in more immigrants than any other country in the world. Immigration is an integral part of America's growing economy. Too often, all immigrants are stereotyped with negative connotations. There is a misperception that immigrants bring down the economy and affect the income of native workers. Data has shown that not to be the case. They often fill a void in the workspace, and eventually many become entrepreneurs and small business owners, providing jobs and promoting economic growth. Many are highly skilled and bring new ideas to the workforce, ensuring new innovations. Immigrants have been important to our history and have contributed to making America great. Nobel Prize winner Albert Einstein came to the United States as a German Jew just a few years before the Holocaust. Famous industrialist Andrew Carnegie, inventor Nikola Tesla, and newspaper writer Joseph Pulitzer are only a few of the foreign-born contributors to America in the 20th century. Some of the founders of Google, WhatsApp, YouTube, Yahoo, and many of the 500 largest companies in the United States are immigrants. Every single day, immigrants arrive on our shores, ready to contribute to society and share their talents. America would not have been as technologically advanced, economically successful, or nearly as powerful without immigrants bettering our nation. Going back to the story, the Hungarian refugee and the Indian immigrant eventually started their family in the United States, and as you probably figured out, they are my parents. What is interesting to consider is that unless you count yourself as a Native American, you are an immigrant or the descendant of immigrants. This story of me is the story of all of us. Irrespective of whether your family came on the Mayflower or you are currently a first-generation immigrant, we all share this common bond of immigration in our families. Someone sacrificed greatly to come to this wonderful, amazing country, seeking democracy, freedom, or opportunities. That's what we are all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. That's what's so great about our country. We all coexist and unite into what is now the United States of America. We accept each other for who we are, and we work together to better our nation. None of this would be possible without immigrants taking their first steps onto U.S. soil. Many people from other countries view the United States as an ideal place to live, where opportunity is equally available to all American citizens. We have freedom, we have democracy, we have opportunities, and all people are created equal. Immigrants who want to escape from their current lives can start new ones. They come for the chance to prosper, knowing that the road they travel will be difficult. To them, it doesn't matter how hard it is. They are willing to do whatever it takes. Both of my grandfathers were such individuals. They were willing to give up everything and were willing to face the unknown just to have the freedoms and lifestyles we all take for granted. It may be interesting for each of you to find out who that person or persons in your family history were. Who took that leap? Who faced the unknown? Who sacrificed security and the familiar to venture for a better life? They came for more opportunities and for their family to be successful. They came to make sure you are provided with the life they were searching for. We are all linked by this journey of immigration, coming to this land and contributing to making America a more diverse and better country to live in. Without immigrants, the United States would simply not exist. Our immigrant ancestors came here in search of the American dream, and here we are, living it. So let's make the most of it.